how quiet it is up here compared to the bar downstairs. Okay, we're going to carry on with three more open mic poets, each doing a couple of poems each, and then we'll have the second sets of each of the featured poets. So I'd like to give a big welcome, first of all, to somebody I've seen several times at Poetry at 3, and actually love her stuff. Fantastic performer. Please welcome Heather Moulson.
These are two poems set in the 70s, so that's it. So, yeah, the first one is Summer of 76. Screw you, Summer of 76. You filled me with inertia. 3 weeks of 90 degrees. Cheers for that. What did I ever do to you? Sunburn, spiteful on my young shoulders, already burdened with the misery of youth and being spat at the 100 Club. A summer job in a chip shop, yearning for love while my overalls stunk of fish. Serving paranoid customers, fretting about hosepipe bans and looming droughts. Why couldn't you have been like a proper summer? Light rain, coats over goose-pimpled arms, shivering by midday, civilised. You swept all that away with your hostile and alien climate. I will never forgive you. And this one's just called Julie, really. And Julie storms into the classroom. I've packed him in, she shouted. More like the other way round, I think, over my geography revision. This was Dave, her covered pash. Julie's such a scrubber. She does it with every boy going. My mate says she even demands it. But Dave was not any boy, I sigh wistfully. My heart lurches as I recall that dishy former fifth former. It's only after a shag, Julie bellowed. It sounded tip-top to me, but they say it hurts, even with someone as dreamy as him. Not all of us have been on a pill since we were 12. By some miracle, Dave's lips meet mine, and the world becomes such a clearer place. I learn the humiliation of desire, while my coat stays chastely buttoned. Julie gets wind of this romance and makes another play for him. But I could offer what she could. But when I did, he just held me silently, tenderly. After a weekend of the phone not ringing, Julie comes in triumphantly on Monday morning. Dave sends his love, she smirked. I hide my tears in a maths equation, going off with the nearest scrubber after kissing me like that, the rotten bastard. But the truth is, I didn't know where to start. Why couldn't I be like her? Worldly, demanding sex, familiar with the backs of cars. But then, I would have missed out on so much more. Thank you.
Heather Moulson, making the world a much clearer place. I'm just going to do a slight adjustment to the backdrop of the stage.
He gives you a bit more food.
Sorry, there's a spotlight shining directly into my eyes. So, thank you, Heather. Okay, we're going to move on now with man who's also got a book here tonight, Matt Jones.
Thank you. It feels a bit unnatural to be promoting a book of mine. I've got to practice doing it, selling my book. 2 poems. This first is a nostalgic look at a time that never was, when to cry was as normal as laughing. Each of us would cry at least once in a day. The tear for times passing, often followed by a laugh. On the tube, in the mornings, tears would run more regularly than the trains sometimes. Conversations held with little notice of the tracks on each other's faces. Tears of parting too, of turning to face solitude, though togetherness came to be an easier thing. Some could not stop crying. Little wonder, always handing over from too little to those who had too much. Though tears will turn to anger when you're all cried out and there's still the same injustice, weeping justification. People cried for different things, but no one questioned why anymore. As needful as the rain. After a shower, it always turns out nice again, is what we said. Soon, the research showed us that we cried out of love. Shy, then, we dried our eyes as best we could. But I'm weeping now, even so. I'm weeping now. And this one has the same sense or feel about it, I guess. That ineffable thing that moves us to tears or to joy. It's called Feather Cloak. She has placed her fingertip, tear-like, on the outer corner of my eye and drawn with immediacy a heart flood. Delicate drops brimming over grateful lashes. There never was more beauty on her face, but she says, hush, this is not. There is an underside to feathers, she says, turns the beauty into lift, into flight. There is an underside of vision, says, what is here, bliss or oblivion, it is mine. Apprehension in the space between. The air becoming breath. The touch recognizing that distance is always there. And then for moments, it is gone. Let me draw you to a heart flood. It is only you. It is only distance. And it has an underside. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Matt Jones. And last of our open mic readers this evening, please welcome Karen Izod. Thank you.
I remember now where we've met, which is at Send, Right Out Loud.
Oh, Send, yes, of
A couple
course.
of months ago, yes, sorry, just trying to remember where we've met. I've got a winter poem and a spring poem, and there's so many comparisons with this period of time being like the pre-war 1930s. But I've written this one after Auden's Age of Anxiety, and I've called it Rage of Anxiety. I walked past the Saudi embassy, their 2 armed policemen at the gate, carbines clasped across their chests. This morning they seemed to be talking Christmas, a low-level security-type conversation. Who pays for this? I asked them once. We do, they said. Their tone friendly, almost pally-like, and they do the same for us over there. It's reciprocal. Later, I surface at Waterloo, a dozen or more police officers standing in pairs, similarly armed. What's going on, I ask, knowing the answer will necessarily be vague. Just a routine exercise, miss. He doesn't actually say miss, but is warm, almost jolly. He could even pass for an out-of-uniform Santa. We're here to reassure, not to make you anxious. Though he does, and I recognise the privilege of being in a capital city without, on this occasion, being fearful, and thoughts of terrorists crowded out by shopping lists, and noticing the shock I still have, which must show my age, of seeing women slung about with semi-automatics, and wondering if that in itself might reassure or tell me that this is definitely the age of anxiety. And this one I wrote about the naturalist Gilbert White. I was very curious about how we know things now that people didn't know before, that we take for granted. So this is called Hibernating Swallow. August, and the restlessness is already setting in. At the yard I stand to watch them, only inches above the fields, unfaltering in their precision and speed, an evening fairground of swoops and cries. Gilbert White, famous naturalist from just down the A31, was convinced they overwintered like reptiles, burrowing below deep water, resting in their torpid state, until a spring day came awakening, enticing from the lakes to begin the year again. It wasn't that he had seen the evidence of such a watery nook, more a thought, so present law might say, that nowhere but here could be home, that no life but here could assure with food, a nest, a mate for life. To imagine other was too risky, to cross continents, itinerate, go seeking the necessities of survival. Was this an island mentality even then, to suppose that all can be met within these shores? Or perhaps a fear that once gone it would sense a belonging, would call that its home, and decide not to return?
Thank you very much, Karen. Now we